Hello guys, Arcand here. I am the darkness in the light, the flower on the wall, and the resplendent nightfall. So, welcome back to Supernova. I wanted to revisit supernovas so I could change things up a little again for myself. So, let's go back to the story. Sleep doesn't afford me as much clarity as I'd like. There's a bland breakfast waiting for me when I wake up, which I promptly consume, all while my thoughts race to make sense of everything that's been happening. I don't know if you can hear it outside, but it's raining really hard in my place. Before they spiral out of control, though, I'm interrupted by Gil.
Nick, Unbound has indicated that she would like to speak with you. She will be here in a moment.
Unbound? Alright. I had just started considering talking with one of the Sentinels, but Unbound wouldn't have been my first choice. She never offered to in the first place, but even beyond that, I think I already know what she'll have to say in response to my doubts. As Gil stated, the bear gets here within 5 minutes. I'm dressed and sitting on the bed, waiting, when she steps into the room, this time without the use of her powers. Good afternoon, Nick. Hello, Unbound. You wanted to speak with me? With a nod, she surveys the room, then seems to decide to stay standing. I believe we should discuss your current situation. I clench and unclench my right fist, eyes fixed on the figure etched into the metal of the wristband. After a long moment, I look up at the bear. Sure, then you think I am actually cut out for this? You have the bracelet. That should be indication enough that you are. How does this even work? Did the bracelet approve of me, or did Templar? Judging from what you told us, which I am inclined to believe, it was a combination of both. I rubbed the fur on my arm, thinking. You said yesterday that I don't really have a choice. That was perhaps an inaccurate assessment. It is not that you don't have a choice. Rather, there is an obvious correct choice and an obvious wrong one. I believe you know which is which. My stomach twists into a knot. It's scary. Unbound continues to regard me, her expression not shifting. If she feels any sympathy, her voice doesn't show it. A perfectly natural and understandable response. Nevertheless, I believe that you can and should work through that fear. I hug my arms and avert my gaze again. It's becoming clear to me now that a part of me was excited for what I could be doing with this, but that feeling has all but evaporated now. Unbound exhales, looking a little frustrated, which does nothing to calm my nerves. Nick, you have been given an opportunity most folk don't get, to do something great with your life, be part of something bigger. You haven't just acquired powers beyond most people. Templar is, a symbol that has inspired millions. He brought this team together. He protected this city, this country, and this earth against a myriad threats. We need that symbol now. As far as I'm concerned, to reject this call would be inconceivable. Shit. That is overwhelming. Everything Unbound just said makes me feel so small and weak. I can't be a goddamn symbol. I'm just a college kid. She told me herself yesterday that she doesn't believe I can live up to Templar. So why? My heart is racing. I know she's right. I do. I think this is what the Badger was asking of me, to take on this burden. Maybe that's why he said he was sorry. Because he knew how overwhelming it was going to be. Unbound walks over to the only chair in the room, moving the stuff Gil left for me, and sits. Nick, I don't want to give you the wrong idea. For the first time, her cadence changes. She speaks in a kinder tone now, and even her expression softens. I will not sugarcoat it in an attempt to reassure you. That would be unfair to you, and to Templar. This is going to be difficult, but with our guidance and support, you will be able to pull through. Do the best you can do. And if I say no, you will go back to your old life with no regrets, I hope. I'm silent for a while longer, but then a nervous chuckle escapes me. Sorry, I promise, I'm not usually this indecisive. Quite frankly, Nick, if you had jumped at the opportunity, I would be questioning your judgment. That you are weighing your options is a sign you're taking your situation seriously. Right, then would you mind if I take a little more time to think? Of course. Let Gil know when you are ready to talk again. I'll do that. Thank you, Unbound. She hesitates in the doorway, but then her cape swishes as she rounds the corner, and I'm left alone. Unbound's profile has been updated. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, new notes. She is intense. It's a bit odd Unbound is so insistent on me taking over as Templar. Surely there are better candidates for all of this? Or maybe not. There is a point there. Anyway, let's go back. It doesn't take me long to decide that pacing around is doing less than nothing for me, though, even if I said I needed to think. There were two people who offered to talk about this. Maybe I should take one of them up on that offer. And there was one who didn't, but it could still be worth it to hear him out. Okay, so I think this is the branching point on who we're going to talk, who we're going to choose. So I did say I kind of liked, I still don't know. Oh my gosh. Wait. Okay, so after mulling it over a little bit, I've decided I wanted to choose Meneses. So chat with Meneses. Meneses was the most supportive of me yesterday. Oh yeah, that's true. That's also one of the reasons why I wanted to choose him, because I like it when a guy is friendly. Surprisingly friendly too. Yep. Surprisingly, because as far as superheroes go, Meneses has always been a bit of an enigma. Hell, I don't even know what his actual superpowers are. Just that whenever he shows up, he kicks ass. But in general, he seems to stay out of the spotlight. No interviews, no appearances on talk shows, nothing of the sort. Yes, he's mysterious, and there's something appealing about a cute guy who's mysterious. Regardless, his words yesterday were comforting. I'll go and talk to him more. Gil, can I speak with Meneses? Gil replies after a brief delay, which I suppose must mean he's checking in with the fox.
Certainly, Nick. Meneses is in the meeting room.
I head out at once. Ooh. I'm slow to enter the meeting room when I get there, afraid I'll interrupt something important. Nobody's talking, though, as far as I can tell, so it should be alright. Meneses is sitting in the same chair as yesterday, a piece of paper in front of him. He's scribbling something, an intense look of concentration on his face. Ooh, there he is, the cutie. Neither mask nor cowl conceal his face. Turns out Meneses is quite a handsome Corsac fox. What is that? Turns out Meneses is quite a handsome Corsac fox. Not much older than me either, judging by appearance. Yes, he is one cutie. He doesn't look up, his nose close to the paper, his whiskers twitching. Suddenly he growls, grabs the paper, and tears it in half. It's then that he notices me, and his snarl shifts into a more neutral, if blank, expression. Sorry about that. He leans down to snatch one of the torn halves off the floor, then crumples it into a ball. Is this a bad time? Not at all. By all means, sit. I try not to frown. Meneses' voice is very flat, with just a slight undertone of anger. I hope it's not directed at me. I sit as instructed anyway, looking around. The other Sentinels must either be away or somewhere else in the base. Several news updates are playing on the vast wall monitor, but the sound is muted. Meneses closes his eyes. But then they're open again, and his voice is far warmer when he speaks. How are you holding up, Nick? Now he sounds like he did yesterday. Fine, I think. I guess I still haven't quite wrapped my head around this. I get it. Where are the others? Out and about. Unbound is investigating the wolf that attacked Templar. I see, she didn't mention that. The fox tilts his head to the side. You spoke with her? Yeah. Well, either way, we don't have many leads at the moment. Baron hasn't deigned to contact us since our last talk. Superfang popped in earlier, but I think he'd left again. He likes doing the whole hero of the streets thing. I nod at his words. I hope Unbound finds that bastard soon. He needs to pay. Nick, listen, there's a lot going on right now. We're all on edge, but that doesn't mean you should feel pressured into doing, well, anything. No matter what others say. In some ways, yes, but what Unbound said is true. One way or another, I've been given this responsibility, right? Did you ask for it? For any of this? No. I can't quite read the expression on the fox's face. He leans back into his chair with a sigh. I don't know why Templar would do this. There's a sudden tightness in my chest. I hope if anybody could answer that question, it would be his teammates. All I can hope is that he had a good reason. And whatever it was, I would hate to prove him wrong. I raise my arm to show the bracelet. Meneses eyes it with the obvious discomfort. That's an unfair way of looking at this. You shouldn't let someone's lingering shadow determine your destiny. Lingering shadow, huh? Well, he has a point there. Templar cast a long shadow at that. Even so, I don't think that's a bad thing. Although you're right that there must be a reason you have that bracelet. You can use it. But again, that doesn't mean you have to do that. There could be others. I think if you just decided you don't want to do this, the bracelet would find its way to someone else. I won't blame you for that decision. Nobody will. I swallow, anxiety building once again, even though the words are comforting. Unbound will. You're your own person, Nick. I'm taken aback at how sharp those words come out. But he's right. Back there, when I was watching that fight, I was pretty much helpless, you know? But that bastard was smashing his fists over and over into Templar, and I could tell it wasn't going to end well. I was terrified, to be honest. But I saw that piece of rebar, and it's all I had at the moment, right? I had to grab it. Templar was a hero. I've seen him rescue so many people, so I swung, even though I knew I might die. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I have to do this. Templar asked me to use his power. I think I should. There is a long silence. Meneses is giving me a searching look, but I meet his gaze, feeling confident in what I just said. Sure, there might be others who could do this, but Templar asked me. I don't know why, but that's what happened. And I will do what he asked. The fox buries his face in his paws. I don't know if I agree with your reasoning, but if that's what you want. He lowers his arms and stares at the table, brows furrowed. I guess you know best, Nick. Templar. Thanks, Meneses. Frank. May as well call me by my name. Oh, his name is Frank. That's nice. We sit again, the fox drumming on the table with his fingers. Now, I will be happy to help you with whatever you need. That being said, I don't think I would make a good mentor. As difficult as he is, Baron was closest to your predecessor. He can give you the kind of guidance I can't. I'll keep that in mind. I don't think I'm all that comfortable with the idea of asking the Baron in Black for assistance. I still haven't forgotten that comment about chopping off my arm. I voiced none of that, however, letting the silence go on a little longer, with Meneses lost in his own thoughts. But then curiosity overtakes me. Frank, can I ask you something? Of course. Are you a magic user? There's a pause before he responds. Why do you ask? Oh, dunno. I guess I just don't know what your powers are. The fox chuckles. I'm not. Magic users tend to stay on their own. They don't typically join teams, from what I've seen. Oh, you know some then? A couple. But anyway, now's not the time for that. I should let the others know you've made up your mind. Unbound might want to call another meeting. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. No worries. Gil will guide you back to the bedroom. See you soon. I leave the room as Meneses starts giving Gil instructions. Meneses' profile has been updated. Okay, let's check that out. Cutie pie. His real name is Frank. And his powers is not magic, yes. But still don't know what it is. So, new notes. Meneses is hesitant about me, and I can't blame him, but I just feel like I have to do this. It's just like Unbound says. Besides, I'd be lying if I said part of me doesn't want to get deeper into this world of superheroes I've suddenly found myself in, and Meneses intrigues me. Yes, he does. This cutie pie intrigues me. I get a breather while the team assembles for another meeting about me. To my relief, I don't have to wait too long. Everyone is already in their seats. Vince gives me 2 thumbs up when I enter, while Meneses merely nods at me. The Baron and Unbound, as always, are harder to read. As you all know, Nick has decided to keep the bracelet. As such, he will assume the persona of Templar. Why? Shouldn't we call him Squire, or Stable Boy, or something more appropriate to his station and experience? I can't tell if the Baron is mocking me, or if he's serious. Part of me wants to object to what Unbound said as well, even if I'm not about to suggest other demeaning aliases for myself. After all, I am not Templar, bracelet or not. This is a matter of practicality. It would be prudent for the Sentinels to keep the truth of Templar's demise a secret. Really? Meneses sits back in his chair, scratching his chin. Makes sense. We wouldn't want to advertise that we've been weakened. Precisely. Moreover, we have very few leads on the killer. The news that he failed in his attack on Templar may drive him out of hiding. Oh. I guess I'm going to be bait. At least I'll have a shiny new set of armor to protect me. I stifle my nervous laugh. Shouldn't the people of Nova be allowed to mourn their fallen hero? There's an uncomfortable silence. As much as I'd like for that to be the case, I do think that's not our best option right now. The Baron huffs, but doesn't argue any further. So I'm just supposed to pretend that I'm Templar? The actual Templar? For the moment, Nick, you're supposed to stay out of sight. Which brings us to our next topic. Nick, Templar requires training. That's an understatement. I can't even summon the armor right now. I may have been in some scraps, but I'm not a fighter, and I have no idea how to handle a weapon of any kind. In short, I'm a mess. It would be for the best if one of us took over said training, or, more precisely, one of you 3. There are matters that demand far too much of my attention. Vince raises his hand as if he's sitting in class. It's kinda adorable. I can do it. Wouldn't it be better if we spread the duty around all of us? That would put undue strain on Nick. It is easier to assign him one mentor. All due respect and all that, champ, but I think someone a little more experienced should handle the training. Meneses, since you have buddied up to the rookie, why not take him under your wing? I don't think that's a good idea. Meneses said so earlier too, but never explained why. Is he too busy, perhaps? Hey, I may be the youngest, but that's a good thing, right? I went through the same things as Nick not that long ago myself. I can help him. I believe the Baron is right, Superfang. The mentor role is not to be taken lightly. Which is why I think you should do it, Baron. Wait, what? Is that something I would want? You are the most experienced. Perhaps more importantly, you knew Templar best. Nick needs that. As thrilling as wiping the snot off the rookie's nose would be, I'm sure I have much better things to do with my time. Let one of the youngsters handle it. Meneses, stop being stubborn. The fox crosses his arms and averts his gaze. If I have to, I could. You don't have to. I'm telling you guys, I can train Nick. I've been in this for 4 years now. I'm not new. I can tell that this argument might be becoming circular. Perhaps I should weigh in with my own opinion? Although I'm not even sure myself. What they're saying all makes sense. I like Vince. He seems like a great guy, and he's eager to help me out. But he is just 2 years older, and even if he got his powers earlier than I did, a more experienced mentor might be better for me. Meneses has made it clear that he doesn't want to mentor me. To be honest, that hurts a little. I thought he liked me. He did say he's gonna do it if he needs to, and he is more experienced than Superfang while not being an asshole like the Baron. Speaking of which, the Baron... The Baron scares me a little. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't actually hurt me. But he sure seems to dislike having me around. Would it be a good idea to entrust myself into his paws? On the other hand, he is the most experienced of the three, and if he was that close with Templar, it might be worth spending time around him. The Sentinels keep talking over each other as I contemplate my options. Who should I go with? Okay, so is this the actual branching point? Okay, so I did say I wanted to go with Mnesis, so Mnesis. Maybe it would be a good idea to have a private conversation with the fox and learn why he's so reluctant. But I can tell that Unbound wants this question resolved now, so I'm not going to dally. What the Baron said makes sense. I would feel comfortable with Meneses mentoring me. If you're sure about this, maybe. I am. I give the fox my most reassuring smile. Alright. I wish he'd sound more enthusiastic about this, but I just know that Meneses won't lead me astray. Very well, so be it. Nick, rest assured that you are in good hands. But I'll reiterate that for now, your task is to lay low until you get the hang of your newfound strength. Sure, yeah, I understand. I glanced down at the bracelet. Is there anything I can do on my own, though? I don't have a good grasp of my, powers. I tried to summon the armor, but nothing happened. Baron? The Baron taps his fingers on the table. Can't help there. You'll have to figure that out on your own. As for what the bracelet can do, you have already seen most of it. The armor is extraordinarily resilient, and the mace is no joke either. You will be able to fly, although not indefinitely like some. Should the armor be damaged, the bracelet will repair it over some time. It will also repair your body to an extent. I frowned at that, raising a hand to my chest. Yes, you might have noticed that you recovered faster than you would have under normal circumstances. Now, before you do anything stupid with that information, know that it will not save you from mortal wounds. It accelerates what your body can do on its own, nothing more. I will keep that in mind, thanks. Just make sure nobody can see you when you summon the armor. Hell, don't even try unless one of us is around. Huh, well I doubt I'll follow this last bit of advice, but I nod along anyway. With that settled, we have one more urgent matter to discuss, that being the identity of Templar's murderer. Not much to say there, unless one of you has discovered something new. Nobody I've contacted has heard of a canine supervillain in black with shiny green fists, including Greg. Who, by the way, has been riding my ass about the new Templar's identity. You haven't told him yet? Didn't we just talk about how we wouldn't? Like that ever stops you. Unbound gives a warning look accompanied by a chagrined sigh. I suppose that Gregory should be informed. He will be impossible to avoid at the funeral. If you say so. I have no idea who this Greg person might be. Another superhero, maybe. But something else catches my attention. When's the funeral? Monday. I feel a lump forming in my throat. I'd like to come. Why? You didn't even know him. Meneses ignores the Baron. If you want to, Nick, I see no problem with that. I'm sure you want to pay your respects. Yeah, thanks. I can tell the Baron is unhappy, but before he can argue, Unbound brings the conversation around to the previous topic. Regardless of the wolf's identity, what is curious to me is how Templar came across him, and why he didn't call for backup sooner. Vince shuffles in his chair, his ears splayed back. As I told you, nothing on the recordings from the day suggests anything was amiss until he left the base. Indeed, my own time going over them showed as much. For all we know, Templar tried to stop him from some criminal activity, and it escalated from there. I believe that to be likely, but I could find no incidents from that afternoon worth our attention. So we have nothing, then? It appears so. I don't have anything to offer to this discussion. The four of them have heard all I know, and I've described Templar's killer in as much detail as I could. Either way, I'll talk with Greg again. I just hope I can keep the conversation with him brief. You know how he is. Meneses chuckles. We appreciate your sacrifice. You better. For the first time since I've met them, they sound friendly with each other. Well, I guess they are teammates after all. Very well. Keep us updated, Baron. As for you, Nick, you should be good to return to your residence tomorrow. I perk up a little at hearing that. I won't deny that finding myself in the Sentinels' hideout has been thrilling in its own way, but I'm eager to return to my own bed. I trust that you can keep everything that's happened secret. If you need to, we can discuss the specifics of that before you leave. I think I've got it covered, but I can run it by you if you'd like. Unbound nods to that. I can drive you to your college sometime in the afternoon. How does that sound? Yeah, that'd be great. After I make sure it's safe. You kids take care of that. You. He points to me. Come with me. Where? You'll see. It's just a small matter before you leave. What is this about? A precaution. Meneses gives him a long, tense look. Play nice. Yeah. Alright, Nick, you'll be fine. I get even more nervous at that, but I nod back at the fox regardless before following after the Baron. To my surprise, the Baron leads me straight to the med room. He says something to Gil while we're talking, speaking in a low enough voice that I can't hear individual words. I don't know if that's on purpose, but it puts me on edge. As we enter, my eye is drawn to the small table, where I spot a rather oversized syringe. The Baron picks it up and turns to me. What the hell is that? A tracking chip. What? Absolutely not. Listen, rookie, you'll thank me when you inevitably get your ass in trouble and need our help. So quit whining and pull up your sleeve. No fucking way or fine. Okay, so since we're rookies, we're not a good superhero. I think we need some way for us to call for help, so let's say fine. Is this necessary? I value my peace of mind very highly, so yes. I'm touched that you care so much about my well-being. I roll up my sleeve and grit my teeth. Keep dreaming, rookie. I'm concerned about the bracelet. Oh, fucking course he is. The syringe plunges into my flesh, but it doesn't hurt too badly. Now stay put until Superfang picks you up. Before I can retort, the Baron is already out the door. I'm so glad he's not going to be mentoring me. Hopefully I'll deal with him as little as possible. I rub my arm. It's a little sore, but nothing compared to what my chest felt like a couple days ago. What am I supposed to do for now? I wish one of the four would give me a proper tour of the place, since technically I'm part of the team now. Maybe my new mentor will do so when we begin training. I wonder if everyone has left by now. What would they be up to all day, anyway? Patrolling the city, maybe? I remember Meneses mentioning that Vince likes doing the hero stuff in the streets. That would mean that the others deal with more large-scale stuff. Like alien overlords and shit. It has happened a couple times. Regardless, I'll learn soon enough what the day-to-day life of a superhero is like. I stare again at the reddish band. I've been doing that a lot. Profiles have been updated. Let's look at that. Let's check again. Okay, so Vince. Even though he won't be mentoring me, I'm glad Vince is my teammate. And hey, it doesn't mean I can't still learn from him. And maybe it's too early to be saying this, but at the end of the day, he's the one I'm confident I can count on as a friend. And Meneses? So, I'll have Meneses teaching me. And he couldn't have sounded less excited about it. At least I can tell it's not just me he's hesitant about, though. There's something more to it, even if I can't figure out what. Regardless, I hope this means I'll be able to get to know him better. Baron. I'm going to be keeping a respectful distance from Baron in Black. He didn't want me here, and I have a mentor now. Maybe he'll warm up to my presence, but I'm not about to bend over backwards to make it happen. He'll have to get used to it on his own. Unbound. Well, Unbound got her wish. I guess I work with her now. Or under her? I'm still not sure who's properly in charge in here with the Sentinels, but I'll have plenty of time to figure that out soon. Is there anything new with Lucas? Nothing. Yeah. Okay. I stare again at the reddish band. I've been doing that a lot. The reality of it all is sinking in. I'm a superhero now. A freaking superhero. Damn. I can't deny the excitement, but there is fear there too. My mind flashes back to the image of the snarling wolf smashing his fist with ungodly force into Templar's armor. Over and over again. The badger inside the armor, bleeding, broken, dying. My breathing speeds up. The pounding of my heart is deafening. All traces of the thrill I was feeling are gone.
Nick, I detect that you are in distress.
No, I'm fine. It's fine. I force myself to breathe, slow, even breaths. Gradually, my heartbeat returns to normal. It won't happen to me. No way. Still trembling a little, I manage to push the thoughts aside. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'll be alright. I have people to guide me. Everything is going to be fine. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point. So let's save. And then go back to the main menu. Okay, so I'll do the next part, next time. And for this video, I chose Meneses. So Meneses is a cutie. I want to see and find out more about him. So he's the route I chose for now. If you guys like that, please leave me a like and subscribe if you can. But if you don't want to, that's okay. And I want you guys to take some time to appreciate something in your life today. and I'll see you guys on the next Let's Read. Thank you for watching. Bye!